Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I'm really glad you're here. Today's date is Tuesday, November 15th, 2022. For those of you that are sharp-eyed observers, this is the same outfit I was wearing when I did my earlier video on what to expect after Mr. T's announcement. And I have to admit, let's talk about that for a minute. I was sad that all that was announced was a candidacy, especially since that brings up the question of, okay, so now are you conceding 2020 instead of let's fix it? Are you telling us yet again to participate? Because if we do it really hard this time, we'll get a different result with our votes despite cheating. And I have to say at the end of it, comparing this announcement and how I felt with the first announcement with the escalator and everything, no comparison. If anything, I now know what the taste of a nothing burger is. Okay. But am I discouraged? No. Was I sad? Yes. I still firmly believe we have a lot of hard truths that need to get out there to the world, that those of us who are awake have already faced, about our lack of sovereignty, about our lack of being free peoples, about the fact that our progress, our very essence, our DNA has been tampered with and not in a good way. That there are horrible experiments and things that have been done on our most innocent lives. I think those truths are still coming out. I absolutely do. I absolutely believe we're going to win this fight for our sovereignty, for our planet, for humanity. I was just hoping tonight was the night that some of those truths, some of the easier of them, would start coming out to our non-awake friends and family. I was hoping possibly the announcement might be that Mr. T was considered by our military to be a commander-in-chief, who does not have to be the president to be commander-in-chief. It's just that it traditionally has gone that way. I was hoping a lot of things that don't seem to have come out today, but then I got to thinking about a few things. First of all, Mr. T indicated a willingness to be a candidate for president. He didn't specify 2024 to my knowledge in that announcement. So that makes me wonder. Also, we know the path for humanity, that upward mobility, the ascension path for humanity, doesn't hinge on one person. And it's a global, it's a human problem that we have. It's a human freedom we need. It's a human education we need. So yeah, I'm a little sad that today wasn't the day that some of that started, but I'm not discouraged. And I'm not going to, by the way, allow discouraged comments in the comments for this video, because we know people are paid to be discouraged and to spread that vibration. So join me possibly in being a little bit sad, but let's see what the universe has to say, because there's so much we don't know. All right. One of the other things I'm hinging some thought on is that if you recall that first video that I did today, when we looked at 3 months ahead, it said the Wheel of Fortune would be turning for America. And I was getting a real positive vibe about that. I was hoping that meant that there would be an announcement tonight that would necessitate 3 months from now some elections. I wasn't getting, that was just my hope. I wasn't necessarily getting that intuitively at all. And when we looked at the global outlook for 3 months from now, there were lots of pentacles showing up, even though there was a card, the Five of Pentacles, whereas there's some willing hardship on the way to that. And I still kind of think that that means that more and more nations are going to join with BRICS and get to enjoy the benefit of the stability of being users of an asset-backed currency. I just think my country's going to be late to that party. That's my thought. But let's ask the universe a very important question tonight. Okay? I want to get advice from the universe for those of us that are awake. Okay? What advice does the universe have for us who are awake in these crazy times where it doesn't yet seem to be the time to break out some truths and start cleaning out some stand-ins and things like that. What advice does the universe have for us, those of us that are awake? Let's see what the cards have to say. Oh, sorry, didn't change the camera. Okay, now that I've got that pin changed, let's ask the universe, what advice for those of us that are awake does the universe have for us? I'm going to put a time limit of for the next 6 months. What should we be mindful of, aware of, even comforted by for the next 6 months as events unfold on this plane of existence? Let's see. Okay, we've got the Seven of Swords, Queen of Wands, the Hermit, Empress, Knight of Wands, Four of Wands, beautiful card, and the Ten of Wands showing up again here in the near future, something to be mindful about. Well, I kind of like that the Eight of Swords showed up here. The Eight of Swords often tells us that there's a need for patience and um, being gentle with the fact that recuperation is in process, that there's a need for healing, which we know, that's what we're asking about for the path of humanity, and that there's right timing involved. Okay, so we're getting reassured that things are unfolding according to the timing that's right for them. And that includes us waking up ahead of other people and having that burden sometimes be a little heavy that we are. The Queen of Wands tells us a little more about that right timing and just kind of indicating we who asked the question. Now, she is an optimistic card, so that's good. So we're being told, keep our vibration up, okay? It is a good time still to be perfecting our skills of manifesting, of intuition. Don't discount your inner knowing. You woke up for a reason. And when the time is right, I think more things are going to be clear for us. The Hermit shows up in the recent past, just reminding us that there is a divine element to everything that's going on. It is beyond our world because we're getting help from beyond our world in making some of these corrections to the path humanity's on. And the Hermit is shining a light down here on the card that indicated us. Those who are having to patiently wait for that right timing, for that healing to be manifested, for the path of humanity, for our world, for our government structures, which ultimately will be much, much smaller. The Empress shows up here in the current, and we were asking for advice and insights. The Empress, while being the ultimate divine feminine energy, is also a card of sovereignty. So we're getting reassured that yes, the human race is coming to a place of sovereignty, and it's going to be a beautiful, abundant, creative force to be reckoned with, our sovereignty and the path for humanity. Okay, we were pretty strong and courageous people being ready to be here at this very imperfect time, and where so much is not resolved in our reality, but it's coming. It's coming. And when it does, like I said, a force to be reckoned with. And this talks about favorable time to move forward with your dreams. Okay, so we have the right timing here. In the present, this is a favorable time to move forward with our dreams. Okay, we have the Knight of Wands showing up here. Knight of Wands for the near future. He's kind of a restless energy, tendency to act reckless. He can be, but I love that he never backs down from a challenge. Okay, so with the a Knight of Wands showing up here, we are being told that yes, and look, wands, lots of events are coming up and that are soon going to unfold. Okay, so tonight wasn't the night, but who knows? I mean, we could still have an announcement made where he has to withdraw, Mr. T has to withdraw his candidacy because there's been a resolution and a change in the current dynamics. That could happen. I'm not saying it will. There's no sword showing up here, which would be written in spoken words, which would be a big part of that, but there are event cards coming up with these actions. Okay, so the Knight of Wands is, again, a good high energy card. Is a reminder not to act prematurely, okay? Act with some consideration and due diligence before you take action. If you're disappointed about tonight, the announcement or the lack of the scope of the announcements, what have you, think really hard before you make some ultimatum that you might later regret, okay? The Four of Wands is, again, over here, kind of informing us a little more about what's going on with the Knight, okay? That in the near future, a lot of events are going to kind of come to a close, all right? The Four of Wands is kind of, it's an angelic type of card because it's a card of stability and harmony and really good partnerships, teamwork, and agreement. So I still say we have good things to look forward to. Let's get a few more cards here, okay, and see what's going on. Death here is indicating that long, slow changes are continuing, okay? Just reminding us it's a slow process. We can't want it yesterday. We get it when we get it and when the time is right. Because we're not just correcting one election or fixing one country. We're worried about what's happening to our 8 billion souls on this planet and those that come after. Again, we got some pentacles showing up, Six of Pentacles, which is a card of some generosity, saying that we do have that to look forward to in our future. So I do think that the Nasara Jasara chatter is accurate. It's true, and it's going to unfold. Star card shows up. Look how many major arcanas are coming with this question. The universe loves us, okay? And wants the very, very best for us. Because the star is another harmony card, an optimism card. We're getting so much reinsurance here that it is okay to be optimistic. It is. We've got an optimism card going on here, most definitely, and here, absolutely. And even this, since we do live in a world where energy exchanges include money, we're being reassured that that is something that we can look forward to. And here, 10 of Cups, telling us that all ages are going to be celebrating. And remember, we put a 6-month cap on this, or I did as I was asking the question as I, between the camera views. And so I say there's going to be some celebrating going on for those of us that are awake within 6 months. So the advice for us, those of us that are awake, does seem to be good. There were no trickery cards here. There were no doom and gloom type of scenarios that came up. It was all about optimism. Yes, some right timings involved, but again and again, there's loving energy that's kind of helping the path for humanity. And in the meantime, I'm not going to concern myself too much about, I'll read about them because politics are part of what's going on in our world, but I'm not going to invest a lot of energy in them, and I'm sure not going to let them lower my vibration. My job is to remain awake, to grow my powers of discernment, critical thinking, to practice my skills of manifesting, to join with you folks as often as possible so that we together can keep our eyes on the prize and not get anything more negative than a little temporary sadness that today wasn't the day and this wasn't the hour, because we're not in charge of that. We're just in charge of ourselves. And we're in charge of loving those around us and being kind and gentle and as generous as possible. And sometimes it's a time and note and hang, knot in your rope and hanging on. Okay, I want some resolution because people are suffering. And we have to remember that the universe doesn't recognize time like we do. Where we mourn when someone passes, as long as the soul is still intact, the universe says nothing's really happened. They just shed a wrapper. Okay? They're still part of my plan. They're still special and loved. And so the timing isn't the same for us. That's why I usually try to put kind of like a broad window on what I do. And the universe, which is our source loving creator, we are loved, we are created, and we are special. And our path is being corrected. And I take great comfort in that. I hope you do too. That's it for this video. By the way, the reason I came back tonight also was I won't be doing a video tomorrow. I've got another medical appointment, just something I have to do. So I will be not quite as readily available. If some huge event happens, I'll get on and do a live stream and chat with you folks. Keep you updated, so we'll see what happens. I'm up for those big moments to surprisingly happen. They can happen anytime as long as they're good ones, the ones we're waiting for, right? Okay, that's it for this video, as I said. So thank you so much for your time. I don't take it for granted. I'm sorry that today I took up a little more of it with the 2 videos, and I do thank you for your support, your patronage, and your prayers, and good intentions. And for those of you that have bought me buy me a coffee, thank you very much. I do appreciate that. In the meantime, it's more important to be taking care of yourself, your family, your friends, your circle. Okay? So be good to the extent you're able to others, and be even better to yourself, because no one else is in charge of self-care but you. Thank you. Good night.